If you look at social media, you might get the impression that you need to have a super difficult and complicated routine to be healthy, or that you need to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to live longer. The truth is, absolutely not. You don't need to spend hours at the gym doing zone 2 cardio or walking. You don't need to be eating a 100% Puritan diet and count every calorie that you put into your mouth. You don't need to be taking hundreds of supplements and pills every day. In this video, I'm going to give you a realistic longevity routine for normal people. Timestamps for everything are down below. Let's start with exercise, because this is where most people are expected to get the most results. Going from being completely sedentary to 90 minutes of exercise per week is associated with a 14% lower risk of all-cause mortality and a 3-year longer life expectancy. Every additional 15 minutes of daily exercise further reduces mortality by 4%. Similar results are seen with going from walking 2,000 steps a day to walking 8,700 steps a day, which results in a 60% lower all-cause mortality risk. Going from 8,700 steps to 16,000 steps provides only an additional 5% risk reduction. This same phenomenon applies to all exercise. You get most of the benefits by just starting to do something. Working out for hours and hours will get you more benefits, but it's a minority of the benefits. The vast majority of the benefits come from getting off the couch. Here's a weekly exercise plan that takes less than 2 hours per week. Monday, resistance training, pulling muscles, pull-ups and rows for 30 minutes. Tuesday, rest day. Wednesday, resistance training, leg muscles, squats and lunges for 30 minutes. Thursday, rest day. Friday, resistance training, pushing muscles, bench press, push-ups and shoulder press for 30 minutes. Saturday, high-intensity interval training, 4-minute near maximum effort, followed by 3 minutes of low-intensity jogging or walking, repeated for 4 rounds. In total, a 30-minute workout. And Sunday, rest day. When you're doing resistance training, take each exercise to technical failure, which is the point where your form begins to break down and you're not able to maintain proper form. Pick a weight that you can lift for about 8 to 12 reps and take it to technical failure. Or if you're doing bodyweight exercises, then just do as many reps as you can. For example, pull-ups. Do as many pull-ups as you can with good form. Rest 1 minute and repeat for 3 rounds. Then move on to the next exercise, which for the pulling muscles would be a row, like a barbell row or a ring row. For the leg day, do squats and lunges. For the pushing day, do either bench press or push-ups and a shoulder press. You should still try to walk every day. Walk the stairs, walk further away in the parking lot, walk in the supermarket, take your kids or a dog for a walk. This way you'll easily get 8,700 steps per day. I want to take a quick break to let you know about my favorite wellness devices, which are the bond charge red light therapy devices. You've probably seen many of your favorite longevity influencers using these red light therapy devices, but do they actually work? Yes, they do. Red light therapy has been shown to have many benefits on skin anti-aging, hormone optimization, pain management, and even exercise performance. I use my device every day for 15 minutes, especially during the winter months when there's not much sunlight. It increases my energy in the morning and makes my skin glow. Just check out the testimonials on the bond charge website for the before and after pictures of other people. Most red light therapy devices don't have the right wavelengths of light, which might mean you're not getting the claimed benefits. Bond Charge uses the exact wavelengths of light used in research, and they also have near-infrared light that's beneficial to the joints. Head over to bondcharge.com and use the code SIIM, S-I-I-M, for a 15% discount. Let's talk about food, because it's a topic of big controversy and confusion. The truth is, you can eat everything in moderation. As long as you exercise, as long as you have a lower body fat percentage, as long as your blood work is normal, and as long as you don't get any autoimmune or allergic reactions to certain foods. You should eat the vast majority of your food as whole foods or minimally processed foods. Fruit, vegetables, fish, eggs, meat, berries, nuts, seeds are unprocessed foods that are generally healthy. Olive oil, cheese, cottage cheese, whole grain products, whole grain bread, sourdough bread, kimchi, sauerkraut are minimally processed foods, and they're still healthy. Ultra-processed foods are donuts, chips, snack bars, pastries, etc. that are generally unhealthy. However, some ultra-processed foods are fine in moderation, such as a protein powder or a protein bar without added sugar. It just shouldn't make up a significant proportion of your diet. When it comes to diet, then what matters at the end of the day is how is your body composition. Are you lean or overweight? Your blood work, is your blood sugar or lipids high, and how you feel or perform. Do you feel energized and you're progressing in life? As a general rule of thumb, you want to gravitate towards an unprocessed and minimally processed diet. However, you don't have to be maniacal or neurotic about ultra-processed foods as long as you consume them in very small amounts and not very frequently, and as long as your other biomarkers are normal. When it comes to meal timing, then you don't have to follow a specific meal schedule. You don't have to do intermittent fasting, and you don't have to eat 6 times a day. It is recommended to stop eating a few hours before bed and have a slightly earlier dinner for better sleep. But you can still eat breakfast, lunch and dinner, and maybe a snack. What matters more is your total daily calorie intake. Let's talk about supplements. You don't have to take hundreds of supplements, not even dozens or tens, but there are some that do have benefits. Creatine monohydrate for increasing muscle strength and supporting brain aging. Dose 100 mg per kilogram per day. Magnesium, either bisglycinate, taurate, threonate or orotate, because most people aren't getting enough magnesium and it's hard to get from food. Dose 200 to 400 mg a day. Glycine for supporting collagen synthesis, glutathione, blood sugar support and sleep. Dose 5 to 15 grams throughout the day. Collagen peptides for slowing down skin aging and supporting joint health. Dose 10 grams a day. Omega-3s for raising blood omega-3 levels, which is associated with lower heart disease, Alzheimer's and all-cause mortality risk. You want to aim for an omega-3 index of 8 to 12%, which requires a dose of 1000 to 3000 milligrams of EPA and DHA combined per day. And lastly, taurine for supporting metabolic health and exercise performance. Dose 3 to 6 grams a day. There are several other supplements that have benefits, such as NAC, TMG, astaxanthin, melatonin, garlic, vitamin D and vitamin K2. But they tend to be more specific and secondary. If you have the budget, then add them, but if you don't, then just stick to the basic supplements that I just mentioned. Moving on with sleep. Sleep is undeniably one of the most important things when it comes to health and longevity. If you're chronically sleep deprived or you sleep bad, you will inevitably age faster. Sleep 7 to 8 hours, which is the sweet spot associated with the lowest mortality risk. You should try to go to bed around the same time, because this supports better sleep. Wear a sleep mask to avoid any lights messing up your sleep. If you can dim down the lights 1 hour before bed, then that would be great, because it helps you to fall asleep faster. Ideally, you would also use some blue blocking glasses or red light bulbs, but you can start with just dimming down the lights. Now let's talk about what I call auxiliary routines. They support your general health and well-being, and you shouldn't ignore them. Spend time with friends and family every day. Realize that the biggest determinant of your life satisfaction, how satisfied and happy you will be about your life on your deathbed, isn't going to be your VO2 max or even the age at which you die. It's going to be your relationships, especially relationships with friends and family. If you become so neurotic about your longevity routines, your exercise routines, your diet routines, that your relationships begin to suffer or your mental health begins to suffer, or you just hate your life, then it's not going to be worth it. And it's not going to extend your life. Second, bright light exposure. One of the most important things for your daily energy levels and rhythms is to get exposed to bright lights after waking up. Let it be natural sunlight or a seasonal effective disorder lamp, doesn't matter, as long as you get at least 10,000 lux for 5 to 10 minutes within 30 minutes of waking. Reduce plastics as much as possible. Plastic containers, personal care products, packaged foods, and plastic bottles are leaching microplastics into your body. You should make some easy swaps to reduce the exposure. Use glass containers and jars for food and liquids instead of plastic Tupperware. Use a stainless steel water bottle instead of a plastic bottle. Use wooden or stainless steel spatulas instead of plastic ones. Use stainless steel pots and pans instead of non-stick pans. Wear cotton and natural material underwear and sheets instead of polyester and nylon ones. Opt for natural skincare products, not artificial ones. Let's talk about testing. When it comes to the most important longevity tests, then I've made a separate video going into those details. The short story is that you want to measure your waist circumference, blood pressure, blood sugar, Lp(a), hsCRP, and grip strength. Lower waist circumference, lower inflammation, lower Lp(a), lower blood pressure, and higher grip strength are generally better. Alright, let me give you an overview of the full longevity routine for normal people. Exercise every other day with either cardio or resistance training. Try to get 3 resistance training sessions and 1 high-intensity interval training session per week. Eat 90% whole foods and minimally processed foods. You can leave 10% for ultra-processed foods, like protein powder or protein bars, but it's not going to harm your health to have a cheat meal every once in a while either. Sleep 7 to 8 hours, go to bed around the same time plus and minus 30 minutes, and wear a sleep mask. Spend time with friends and family, because it's supporting your longevity, not hurting it. And take a few key supplements like creatine, glycine, magnesium, omega-3s, taurine, and collagen. This is a baseline routine that will get you healthier than 95% of people. So show this to your family member or friend if they want to improve their longevity. My own personal longevity routine is a bit more detailed, but it's not schizophrenic. Check out my evidence-based longevity routine video next.